Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome all the devotees. So we'll start with prayers. Request everyone to kindly join. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जय श्री श्री कृष्ण बलराम की जय, शिला प्रभुपाद की जय, निताई गौरांग की जय, श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय। Welcome all of you. So yesterday we discussed about control of the mind and senses, how they are very very difficult. यततो हि अपि कौन्तेय पुरुषस्य विपश्चित इंद्रियाणि प्रमाथीनि हरन्ति प्रसभं मनः. So even a person who is trying to control the senses, man of discrimination, who discriminates everything, that yes, I should control the senses, this is not good for the spiritual advancement, I should not indulge into sense gratification. But despite of having this understanding, he gets carried away by the strong force of the senses. At times he gets defeated and he fails to control over the senses and mind, because the force which are coming from mind and from within, it takes away the mind even of man of discrimination. So we nicely understood voice is not coming. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. My voice is not coming, but he from here voice is coming. Hare Krishna. Okay, it is coming. Thank you. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram. So then we understood the example of Yamunacharya, that Yamunacharya, earlier he was a king, and he used to indulge into all kinds of material activities and gratification. But since his mind was absorbed in the lotus feet of the Lord, and he is getting newer and newer new humors in Krishna consciousness by meditating the lotus feet of the Lord. So now when he thinks about his past life, early life, about sex life, he spits on the thought. That means he is getting higher taste in the thinking of the Lord. So that's what Prabhupada explained. So now I'll share what Krishna is explaining in further verses. So this is the verse where, in fact, Prabhupada is one step ahead of Krishna. Prabhupada in next verse, he is explaining how to control the senses. Verse number 61, Krishna is explaining the same thing only, how to control the senses. And before this verse, he said that it is very, very difficult to control the senses. Even a man of discrimination. Purushasya vipashita. Purushas means person. Vipashita means who discriminates. Even such person is also not able to control, because indriyani pramathini, senses are very, very powerful. So they get swayed away. Senses sweeps away us. It sweeps away our mind and consciousness. Then Prabhupada in the purport itself, he has written that Without engaging the mind in Krishna, one cannot see such material engagement. So Prabhupada gave here the an answer how to control the mind. And Krishna is giving the answer here in this question, in this verse. This verse explains that how to control over the senses. There is only one way. Tani sarvani samyamya yukt asit madpara vashehi yashendriyani tasya pragya pratisthita. The translation is सर्वाणी संयम मीन्स सारे सेंसेस को हम कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं युक्त आसीत मत पर व्हेन वी बिकम मत पर कृष्णा इज सेइंग नाउ फर्स्ट टाइम इन भगवद गीता second chapter Krishna is saying to Arjuna before that all the way from second chapter verse number 11 Krishna started speaking and till verse number 60 Krishna is going on explaining one verse Arjuna only spoke in between, that was verse number 54 where Arjuna asked the symptoms of a self-realized person. Otherwise from verse number 11 Krishna is going on speaking 11 to 30, then 31 to 38, then 39 to he is continuing till 53, and then Arjuna asked the question in 54, then again Krishna started speaking from 55 till the end of the second chapter. So here now Krishna at this point of time he is explaining his supremacy at this in this verse. That earlier he explained that how to control over the senses, and in fact in the beginning verse number, if you remember verse number 2.40, there Krishna says neha vikramanaasho asti pratyavayo na vidyate swalpam api yasya dharmasya trayati mato bhayat. Anybody who engages in buddhi yoga or in bhakti yoga, he will be protected from most dangerous type of fear. Even a little advancement on the process of bhakti yoga can protect us from the greatest type of fear. But Krishna is not explaining what is bhakti yoga. Involves his own bhakti. But Prabhupada has written in the purport itself that buddhi yoga means worshipping Krishna. But Krishna here in this verse, he is now explaining that how to achieve all these things. What is bhakti yoga, everything at this verse. Mat parah. Now he is revealing the secret, confidentiality. We can control all the senses only by engaging our mind in mat parah, means in engaging the service of Lord Krishna. And vase hi yashendriyani, sare indriyon ko vas mein kar sakte hain. Tasya prajna pratisthita, and this person will be situated in its consciousness. He is a person of steady intelligence. So let us see the translation. One who restrains his senses and fixes his consciousness upon me. You see here Krishna now first time, and from this verse onwards now many times Krishna will speak me, aham, mama, like this. Krishna many times, more than 100 times Krishna uses these words. Aham means my, mama means mine, and like this mat paraha. So like this Krishna uses such words to explain, to declare his supremacy, that he is the supreme Lord, and we can achieve all kinds of sense control, mind control only by becoming Krishna conscious. So here also you can see one who restrains his senses and fixes his consciousness upon me is known as a man of steady intelligence. Such persons only can control their senses. So let us read the purport. Prabhupada is mentioning one incidence of Ambarish Maharaj and Durvasa Rishi. That once what happened, Ambarish Maharaj was a king, and he was emperor at that time, and also great devotee of Lord Krishna. Ambarish Maharaj comes in the dynasty of Dhruva Maharaj. We all know Dhruva. This Dhruva pole star we know. Dhruva. This is a planet which is given to Dhruva. Dhruva is 6 months only he performed such a severe austerities and penances that Lord appeared. Lord was forced to appear in front of him because his austerity was very, very powerful. Austerities was it forced Krishna to appear in front of him. Same Dhruva, in his family lineage, Ambarish Maharaj appears, and similarly Ambarish was also very exalted personality, great devotee of Lord Krishna. So once what happened, Ambarish Maharaj thought of coming to Vrindavan and he wanted to observe Ekadasi. So he observed Ekadasi, and the next day, what we have to do is we have to break the fast because whole day you observed Ekadasi. So next day there is a Paran duration. In that time period only you have to break the fast by taking some grain. Otherwise, you will not get the result of Ekadasi, following Ekadasi. And on the Ekadasi day, you should not take anything. There are different levels of observing Ekadasi. First thing is that we should not take anything, even water also. We should not drink even water. That is called Nirjal Ekadasi, Nirjala. So that day we don't take water also. So that is the best thing. That is the highest, first level of performing, observing Ekadasi. So next is if you cannot tolerate your thirst, so you can drink water, and on the water you can subsist. Next is you can drink even if water is not sufficient for you, then you can go for some fruit juices and fruits. Even you cannot if cannot tolerate this also, so you go to next level of taking some fruits, milk, curds, and all kinds of food stuff which are not grains. So like that, there are different levels to observe Ekadasi or any kinds of fasting. So Maharaj Ambarish observed Nirsala fasting. He thought of not taking even a water. Okay, in Madhuvan, in Vrindavan, there is a place called Madhuvan. So Ambarish Maharaj came there and started observing because in Vrindavan everybody likes to go and observe Ekadasi austerity. Result is 1,000 times. So similarly, along with his family, his wife and himself came and observed Ekadasi. Now next day what happened? Durvasa Muni appeared, and Durvasa Muni is angry man, as we all know. Very quickly he gets angry. So he appeared, and Ambarish Maharaj invited him for the prasadam. So Durvasa accepted. Okay, I will accept the prasadam, your invitation. But then Durvasa said, I will first go to take bath in Yamuna river because Yamuna is flowing in Vrindavan. So he said that first I'll go to take bath in Yamuna river, then I'll come back and have my prasadam breakfast. So Ambarish Maharaj said, okay, no issue, you go. So Durvasa Muni, along with all his so many thousands of disciples, I think it was 60,000 disciples, or like something like that. All the disciples, along with Durvasa Muni, they went in Yamuna river and started taking dip, taking baths. Now here Ambarish Maharaj is waiting that Durvasa Muni will come and I will serve him first. Then I will break my fast because it is Dwadasi and Paran time has come and he has to break his fast by taking some kind of grain. But now Durvasa Muni is not coming only. He is going on taking baths. And here Paran time is passing away. So Ambarish Maharaj became very puzzled. What to do now? It is very puzzling situation. So then he started asking from different brahmanas and sages, rishis, that what should I do now? Because Durvasa is not coming, and if I take anything, then it will be great offense at the feet of a guest, Durvasa. Because if you have given invitation, if a guest has come, the first guest should be given the all kinds of food and everything, all kinds of respects. Then only we take. First feed them, then you take the prasad. That's the culture. So now he is in dilemma, dharma sankat, what to do? They're not coming and I have to take my I have to break my fast. And if I take, then it will be a offense at the lotus feet of Durvasa. And if I don't take, then my all the possibilities of performing Ekadasi will not achieve success. So now it's very puzzling situation. Then he started asking, and finally, all the great sages and brahmanas, they suggested him that you can drink water, and by drinking water, what will happen? You have not disobeyed Durvasa Muni because you did not take the grain. You just took some water. And by taking water, you can break your fast also, because last day you had observed Nirjala Ekadasi. Just by taking water, you can break the fast. So Ambaris followed this, and he drank little water. By that, he broke his fast because Paran time was about to get over, and he he did not disobey the Durvasa. And after some time, Durvasa comes, but he understands by his mystic power that he has taken something inside. He is taking something without my permission, without giving me first. He took something before me. And Durvasa became very angry upon Maharaj Ambaris. So then what happened? As usual, Ambaris Maharaj को मारने के लिए उन्होंने एक राक्षस को क्रिएट किया, दुर्वासा मुनि. Durvasa Muni, out of anger, he took out some hairs, and from that hair he created one giant, very great, fierce giant, to kill the Ambaris Maharaj. And it was very huge, very ferocious. His personality was like molten iron, and that demon, he started approaching Ambaris Maharaj, and in order to kill him, he approached Ambaris Maharaj. But Ambaris Maharaj, he is a great devotee of the Lord. He did not have any mystic power like Durvasa. So he just closed his eyes and started meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord. Matparaha. Matpara means taking complete shelter of Krishna, becoming completely conscious of Krishna. So he became Matpara, as it is given in this verse. You see, युक्त आसीत मत परा, आप भगवान में मत परा हो जाइए, means completely absorb your consciousness into Krishna. So similarly, Ambaris Maharaj became mat para, and the result was, surprising. Immediately, Sudarshan Chakra appeared on the scene on that very spot. Sudarshan Chakra, and killed that demon, that giant, and started following Durvasa Rishi. Durvasa Rishi, who is very, very powerful, very powerful, says mystic power. He is having all kinds of perfection. Anima, Lagmya, Prapti, Siddhi, Asita, Vasita, all kinds of 8 siddhis are there. By those siddhi, you can become smaller than the smallest. You can become bigger than the biggest. You can walk on the water. You can do like, you can enter into the stones, and you can get anything from anywhere. Like this, there are different perfections in mystic yoga. When we start following mystic yoga process, Hatha yoga, all kinds of perfections, we get that. So therefore, you will see that many times there are many people, they walk on the water. Why? Because they are so light that they are floating on the water. That is called Anima, Lagna, Prapti, Siddhi, Asita. Asita means they are very, very light in their weight. So these all siddhis were there to Durvasa. So what happened? He started fleeing very fastly, started fleeing, running in order to protect himself from the attack of Sudarshan Chakra. But Sudarshan Chakra is chasing Durvasa, and Durvasa is trying to hide himself. He traveled all over the universe, in the ocean, among the mountains, caves, all the planetary systems, heaven, then Brahmaloka, then Shivaloka. Everywhere he went, but none of them protected him. Lord Shiva also ignored and said, "Don't come to me. You have offended the devotee of Krishna. Now I also cannot protect you. Please go. Please go away. Don't put me in the danger. At least you only suffer the danger. What you have committed." Like this, nobody gave this shelter to Durvasa Muni. So Prabhupada writes in this context that anybody who has committed offense to the feet of the devotee, he does not get any shelter from anyone, and he is bound to suffer very miserably if he does not go back and fall down on the feet of that same Vaishnava to whom that person has offended. Unless that Vaishnava, he forgives you, उसको ये ना बोल दे कि ठीक है, no issue, till that time we'll go on suffering. So same thing happening with Durvasa. Even though he's very powerful yogi, But because he offended Ambarish Maharaj, who was a great devotee of Krishna, who is Mat Parah, so Sudarshan Chakra is not leaving him. Sudarshan Chakra from the behind, releasing a lot of heat and causing a great amount of pain in the body of Durvasa. And so Durvasa is running very fastly with whatever speed he can. And then when Brahma could not protect, Lord Shiva also could not protect. Finally, he reached Vaikuntha. Just see, it is very, very difficult to go to Vaikuntha. Not everybody can go to Vaikuntha. He went to Vaikuntha even in order to get the shelter of the Lord and get protection from the Sudarshan Chakra. Yeah, because the Sudarshan Chakra was released by Krishna. So now this Durvasa, he reached Krishna, in fact, Vishnu, Vaikuntha. So then Lord Vishnu said, very nice conversation. This comes in Bhagavatam. Sometimes I'll discuss in great detail. We'll have complete narration. But today I'll give you a small understanding in brief that there a nice discussion happens between Narayana, Vishnu, Krishna, and Durvasa. There, Lord Vishnu says that I cannot do anything. Oh, great Vipra, Vipra means Brahmana. Oh, learned Brahmana, you think that you have come to me and I will protect you, but I'm also helpless. I cannot protect you because I'm not independent. Aham bhakta paradhino ahi nahi satantre vadvis sadhuvir grasta hidreo bhaktar bhakta janapriya. I am completely controlled by my devotees. You see, Lord Krishna is the Swarat. He is independent. He is transcendental autocrat. Autocrat means Tanasha. Nobody can control Krishna. But here Krishna is saying, I am controlled by my pure devotees who are Matpara, those who are completely absorbed in me. I am controlled by them. Whatever they will say, I follow them. I am not independent. Don't think that I am independent. I am Swarat. I can do whatever I want. No. Whatever my devotees want, I do that. So, like this, Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna, very tactfully he dealt with Durvasa and made him to go back to Ambarish Maharaj and beg forgiveness and fall prostrate on the feet of Ambarish Maharaj. So then Durvasa understood that Vishnu also cannot protect me because he is helpless. So Vishnu said, this Sudarshan Chakra will not leave you unless you go back and fall on the feet of Ambarish Maharaj. Then all the way from Vaikuntha, again Durvasa came back to Madhuvan Vrindavan. The sea was so powerful yogi, and then he fell prostrate on the feet of Ambarish Maharaj. And till that time, Ambarish Maharaj has not taken anything, and it took about thousands of years. This incident, Sudarshan Chakra is changing, and Durvasa went to Vaikuntha and came back. Thousands of years it took, and those many years Ambarish did not take anything. He was waiting that Durvasa will come. So then Ambarish forgave him, Durvasa, and that's how Sudarshan Chakra was. He left Durvasa and went back to Krishna. So Durvasa was saved. That's how. So here we understand that how a great devotee, Ambarish Maharaj, even though he was not a yogi, because just by becoming the devotee of Krishna, he had all those power, all the potencies which even Durvasa did not have. So many times people think that devotees are helpless, they don't have anything. We can kill the devotees, we can do anything to do the devotees. But they don't know that devotees are always in the shelter of Krishna, and Krishna is the most powerful personality. Everything is in the control of Krishna. So Krishna protects his devotees, even though devotees are alone. They superficially it appears that they don't have any shelter, but they have full shelter of Krishna. They have the ultimate shelter of Krishna. So here we understand that what is the advantage of becoming mat para, which Krishna is saying here. युक्त आसित, अगर कोई मत परा हो, अगर कोई कृष्णा कॉन्शियस हो गया, if anybody becomes Krishna conscious, then what will be the result? That even a person like Durvasa can also get defeated by your bhakti. So that is the potency of becoming Matpara. So here one nice understanding it is Prabhupada is writing that you see Durvasa Muni picked a quarrel with Maharaj Ambarish, and Durvasa Muni unnecessarily became angry out of pride and therefore could not take his sister. अपने anger को control नहीं कर पाए. On the other hand, the king, although not as a powerful yogi as the sage, but a devotee of the Lord, silently tolerated all the sages injustice and thereby he must be good. तो भगवान में जो भक्त होता है सब कुछ टॉलरेट करने की उसके अंदर शक्ति होती है, पोटेंसी होती है, कुछ भी टॉलरेट कर सकता है. बट एक नॉन डिवोटी थोड़ा मोड़ा प्रॉब्लम आया ही बिकम्स एजिटेड. So therefore it is very very important to become devotee. So here it is mentioned about Maharaj Ambarish in Bhagavatam. Very nicely all the qualification of Maharaj. You see, I'll read very quickly and finish. King Ambarish fixed his mind on the lotus feet of Krishna, engaged his words in describing the abode of the Lord. You see, all his senses. Ambarish Maharaj was a king, but still he was a great devotee. So we cannot say that I am very busy in my study, I am a working man, I am a family man, I am a householder man. I cannot become devotee of it. No. Ambarish, who is the emperor of the whole world, he is ruling, he is controlling, managing whole world. If he can engage his senses in the service of Lord, so why can't we? So therefore, such pastimes are given in Srimad Bhagavatam, so that we cannot give any excuse. नहीं प्रभु जी मैं तो बहुत बिजी हूँ, मुझे पढ़ाई करनी होती है, so मैं chanting नहीं कर सकता. No. See here, King Ambarish fixed his mind on the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, his words in describing the abode of Lord, his hands in cleansing the temple of the Lord, his ears in hearing the pastimes of the Lord, his eyes in seeing the form of the Lord, his body in touching the body of the devotee, his nostrils in smelling the flavor of the flowers offered to the lotus feet of the Lord, his tongue in tasting the tulsi leaves offered to him, his legs in traveling to the holy places where his temple is situated, his head in offering of his senses unto the Lord, and his desires in fulfilling the desires of the Lord. You see, like this, he engaged all his senses in the service of the Lord and his devotees. And all these qualifications made him fit to become a Matparaha devotee of the Lord. So like this, we also can become great devotee of Krishna. Now, from this verse number 62, Krishna will give another understanding how we fall down into this material pool. And how Bhagavad Gita is so very practical, here we can understand how attachment develops. While contemplating the object of the senses, a person develops attachment for them, and from such attachment, lust develops, and from lust, anger arises. Tomorrow we'll understand very nicely. We'll discuss this verse very in a great detail, because this is one of the important verses in Bhagavad Gita. अगर जिसको हम समझ लिए, so we can come out of lust problem, anger problem, so many problems. What is the starting point? Everything is explained here in this verse. So here I'll stop. Thank you very much. If you have any question, you can ask. Hare Krishna.